control involving several parallel universes, some aluminum foil, and a lack of Girl Scout cookies. Only Russ and I are here.
So. Yeah, Aaron is on assignment.
Yes, Aaron is on assignment, right?
So,
and what an auspicious day for only the two of us, because we have 2 episodes.
Yes, one for each of us.
Yeah, so we can break it up.
Yeah, so we'll be talking about.
So on the first episode of Squid Game, this guy. Yes. I don't know if you've been watching that. But
I have.
I enjoyed that quite a bit.
It's more dramatic than I thought it would be.
I did agreed.
So
and now this week we have a skin game. See what I did there?
Yes.
With Negan and Maggie. So
yes.
Promises Broken is the name of the episode, right?
It is. Yes.
Then we have the World Beyond episode. It's back. Oh, I know. All you World Beyond fans out there, you asked for it. You demanded it. Now it's here.
Yes.
So we'll be covering both today. It's pretty exciting.
Yeah, and we'll be on double duty for the next, I guess, 10 weeks. Yeah, duty. The next 10 weeks, because I'm pretty sure that World Beyond is going to just be 10 straight episodes. They don't split World Beyond. So the next week will be the last week for, actually, as we record this, it'll be tomorrow. The part 1 of 3 finale of the final season of the main show, and then the following week we'll get Fear, and then episode 3 of World Beyond. So for, like I said, for the next 10 weeks we'll be doing double duty. And I think the only news we got is what the part 2 of the main show comes back February 20th, I think.
Yeah, so I'll be the second third.
Yes.
Of the final season.
Yeah, that is a Sunday. So I think February 20th, and then obviously if you have AMC Plus, it'll be February 13th. So
because you're even better, you can enjoy your Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
With The Walking Dead. What better way? What better way than to cover yourself in guts and spend it with someone you love.
So yeah, so then I imagine probably after those 8 weeks, then we'll probably get the second half of Fear. Is my
now the announcement of that date was with a teaser trailer too, right? That's what I kind of showed Daryl at Commonwealth.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
Yes. So that is where we sit with the scheduling portion of the show. So let's get right into it. We got a lot to cover.
Yep.
So we will get to it. So again, like we said, Walking Dead season 11, episode 7, Promises Broken. And this episode. So I was a little confused with this. So the group is on the run at the beginning of the episode, and they mentioned Daryl giving them a heads up. And
that was the last episode when he moved the cord, so he knew they'd be coming.
Yeah, I remember
so
that.
They could get out of there. Yeah.
Okay, for me, it's almost sounded like they verbally spoke to him. So I was a little confused.
Well, that's what I thought he meant. Was that sign that they gave them?
Yeah.
Got them out just in time.
Yeah, that's why. So at first I thought, okay, is this are we going to see a flashback? Where Daryl has some because obviously if they're just moving cords, that message is very subtle. When they start talking about it, they seem to be mentioning something very specific about how they had to get out of there. So anyway, I was a little confused by that, but I'm glad I didn't miss anything, or B, it wasn't a weird time flopping thing. So. But Negan starts to question if they should continue. If hey, given all of that, shouldn't we just go back home, call it a day? For everybody, he made a quippy comment about there being 4 sandwiches or something at the maybe there's not as much stuff there as we've been told that there is at the outpost that they're looking to go to. And so he says hey, if I'm gonna go along with this, I want some assurances. And he's I want to know that me and you, and he's speaking to Maggie when he says this, but I want to know that me and you are good, that we're done. I don't want to be looking over my shoulder anymore after this. That we're even.
And then she says, "You take a promise from me, really?" Which is kind of weird because you think Negan will be the one that would be less trustworthy of the two. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
but they shake on
it. Yeah.
Yeah. This was the Maggie. I found the Maggie and Negan stuff most interesting of all the stuff that we saw this episode. Was definitely most interesting.
Yeah, probably my favorite scene in the whole episode. One of my favorite scenes in the whole episode was when they're talking. It's coming up.
Yeah.
To talk about, I guess. But go
ahead. So as all this is going on, there's a walker that stumbles up, and it's somebody they know. It turns out it's Elijah's
sister's best friend.
Yes.
whose testicles expanded when they had the vaccine. Oh, no, I'm sorry. That's a different sister's best friend.
Yes.
I'm sorry. I'm confused. But yeah, it was Elijah's sister's best friend.
Yes, but so Maggie wants revenge, and she has an idea. Dun. So then we come back to the Commonwealth, and Eugene and Stephanie are clearing buildings. So obviously this is their penance, right? They got busted for sneaking into the radio room. Hornsby is kind of trying to help them out and put them on basically walker duty. So they're having to, the Commonwealth. They mentioned when they first got there that it continues to expand. At first it was just a few buildings, and it was a couple blocks, and it just over time it's expanding more and more. So part of that expansion is they find whatever the next street or the next set of buildings, and they send a crew in there to clean it out. So that's kind of what their sentence is for doing what they did. And we find out at this point that they've been doing this for a couple days. They've been out there for several days doing this. And Ezekiel's having a bit of a rough time. Obviously his cancer is starting to really affect him, and he's not able to kind of keep it together.
Well, he's trying to tough it out, and
yes.
Princess is like, no,
yeah,
go get help. You need help, go get help.
Yeah.
So, but Ezekiel's always been that way, trying to put everything on his shoulders, even back before he was sick and stuff.
Yeah.
So,
and again, Princess, I really like her character, and her kind of really standing up to Ezekiel. And she even mentions again her claustrophobia, right? She's just look, I can't. I didn't mean to blow up at you in there, but I can't. It's too closed in, and I can't deal with that. But yeah, her interaction with Ezekiel this week was really great. And then as they're out there dealing with all this, what I call 2 rich assholes walk by.
You mean our young Joffrey?
Yes, very much so. Yeah, that was the other bit I saw is two entitled a-holes walk by. And so they're trying to get Ezekiel some help, and Ezekiel's like, no, look, I don't want to put that on you. And Princess is like, look, whatever, even if it's a couple more days, it's fine, it's not that big of a deal. If it gets you the help, they've got she's like, they got doctors and hospitals and shit here. So it's like they can help you. Don't be you. Take the help. And from Princess' perspective, again, she makes the point of she's never really had friends, and so she doesn't want to take one of the few people that she's come to adopt as a friend and lose him because he's being stubborn. So
right.
We find out Yumiko is living the high life. She's dressed to the nines. She's kind of going over her new assignment. But she is also worried about the rest of them. She does ask about, Eugene and Ezekiel and Princess, and is kind of trying to leverage her position, her stature to see them. And she even mentions to that guy that she's interviewing with or speaking to that she's not looking to be in this for the long haul. Like, hey, this isn't a permanent thing for me. And he's like, well, we'll see about that. Like, once you see how good it is here, you may change your mind. And then we cut over to Daryl, who at first I thought that he was smoking a joint, but I think I made this mistake before in another episode last season. But I think he's just he's rolling his own, as it were.
Yeah, he's probably got some bugler going on, some top. I mean, it's not like you get there aren't ready-made sitting around,
right?
To be found all the time. So,
and
the ones that are probably left over are probably real stale by now.
I was gonna say 10 years on, I'm sure whatever's ready-made is probably not in the greatest shape.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of like this quick little interlude where he offers a cigarette to one of the other guys that's outside the camp. Again, he's just trying to kind of get the lay of the land and figure out what's going on and try and make friends as much as he can.
Right.
We cut back
Daryl
to
undercover.
Yes, Daryl undercover. We cut back to Maggie and her crew, and they've got a few walkers tied up to some trees, and they're burying Elijah's sister's friend.
Best friend.
Yes, yeah, thank you. They're burying her, and this is where they decide to become like. This is where Maggie's like, "Hey, I need you to find 4 more. We're not going to take any of them from if they were from our group or we know them, we're not going to use them. But I need 4 more." And Negan is like, "We only need 3," and he's like, "I still have my mask." And it was funny because
and he becomes like the whisperer trainer too.
Yes.
Right? He's like, "No, you do it like this. Yeah, it's not, you just don't put on the mask and do this. You have to do it a certain way, or it's not going to work." Right? So.
Well, it's funny because he says, "Yeah, I kept it for sentimental reasons," and I was like, "Yeah, you did."
I don't want to know.
Yeah. And she's like, well, this is never going to work or whatever. And he's like, not with that attitude. It's not. This is really funny. Just kind of seeing this chipper, chipper, smiley Negan. Like, it's funny. After the episode was over, I was watching the kind of behind the scenes thing they do with all these shows now. And Angela Kang was mentioning how in his previous life Negan was a coach. He was a teacher, and so she really just kind of goes on about how like in this episode in particular, this is like Negan kind of going back to his teacher roots, and you could definitely see that there. Dr. Karn, are you there?
Yes.
Whoa.
Hey.
He came in from the time stream.
Finally.
Bigger and better, huh?
Oh, God, I don't even care anymore.
Dr. Kern got an upgrade.
Speaking of upgrade, Dog has gotten an upgrade. You see that sweet tactical vest that Dog was sporting?
Yeah, looking sharp.
Yeah. Pope is we see Pope is getting unhinged.
No, not Pope.
Yeah. Shocker.
He's always so level-headed and calm.
But he's getting really frustrated that they can't find Maggie's group. He's like, they've got to be out there. I don't understand. Why can't you find them? And then Leah steps in and stands up to him because it was getting pretty contentious with Pope, and so she pretty much just kind of took the brunt for the team and stepped in there to kind of calm him down a little bit. And then when her and Daryl go out for the patrol, when he sends everybody out, Daryl starts asking her more, he starts probing her about that. He's like, oh man, the guys are really gonna appreciate you and respect you for what you did for him, standing up to Pope. And at first, when the two of them were talking, it wasn't clear to me whether they were. I thought at first they were insinuating that her and Pope were having some kind of relationship in the beginning, but what they were really, she's like, well, we had to do what we had to do, and what they were really talking about was the settlement. Like they came upon the settlement and they had to clear everybody out, and so she was trying to be coy about what they did to clear the settlement. Which to me, again, you can start to see the cracks in her armor, right? Because she did not right to say, yeah, we just came in and just cleared them out and slaughtered them all and and whatever. She was, you can tell she didn't want to rehash the details of what they had to do, and you can tell Daryl's working her too. Like Daryl's, totally working her to start to kind of sow a little bit of either distrust or the fact that maybe what she's doing is not the right thing to do. So again, Daryl's kind of being a sneaky undercover.
Mm-hmm. I was saying before, Daryl undercover.
Yes. So we cut back to Maggie and her crew, and now it's Maggie the Whisperer. And that mask it was funny because it looked ridiculous. It was like, it didn't fit her right. The eye holes were, sagging and out of place. And it's, again, Negan is like super chipper while this is all going on.
He's loving it, man. He's like, I mean, now, have we had did the scene happen already where she asked him like whether he would do what he said he would, or do what he would do, if he had a chance to do it over again?
No, that's not.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
That's a little bit away.
Sorry.
But yeah, so she's like, yeah, this isn't gonna work, because they're like trying it out. Like they've got these walkers penned up, and then she's going in there, and he's like, no, you need to like sag your shoulders a little bit, and you need to do this, and she's like, oh, this isn't working, and then they end up getting her out of there, and he's like, he just again kind of reassures her. He's like, hey, don't worry about it. He's like, here, give me your mask. I'll fix it up and make it right.
And you can tell, like every time she catches her, she loses it. She kind of forgets that he's the, her why she hates him so much. It on her face, you can tell that she connects back with that, and she resists.
Yep. Then we get to Gabriel, who's out scouting, and he gets to the location they're trying to get to and scouts out everything and sees that the stuff that they're expecting to be there, the supplies and stuff are still there. And he sees a man walking up with a Bible.
Yeah. Priest action.
Yeah.
Almost.
Like, that's my shtick.
Yeah. And Gabriel is watching this guy real close, hiding in the brush, and the preacher that he's watching kind of hears a noise and walks over, and then he starts to pray, and he doesn't see anything, and Gabriel gets his machete out, like he's gonna take this guy out.
I like the shot, the way
yes,
like if you didn't know he was there, you probably wouldn't see him.
Oh, for sure.
They really shot that bit well.
Yes,
I was very impressed with that.
Yeah, no, that was a good shot. But he basically, this guy starts praying, and then he realizes he doesn't see anybody, and then he walks away, and so Gabriel kind of stands down. Back at the Commonwealth, Yumiko meets up with her brother, and again she chides him on not being a doctor. Like, hey, you could be helping all these people. Why are you not being a doctor? And he's like, look, mom and dad. She even says like, mom and dad's not here to kind of bust your balls over everything. You can actually, you were good at it. I thought you enjoyed it. I thought you liked that. And he again kind of like, stop, like don't like shush.
And I don't blame him. You know how crazy his life would be if he were the only surgeon there.
Oh sure.
I mean, I can see his point of view. Obviously, for the greater good, he should help as many people as he can. But from his point of view, I can totally see that too. He's been through all this shit.
Yeah.
Why would he want to put himself through it even more?
Yeah, and especially if he's found it's like one of those like when your parents force you to go on a certain right. It's a story trope. Like parents gonna force you to go on be this, and it's like, but I just want to play guitar. It's just like the man just wants to bake, and so it's just like
Yeah.
like
The
he
thing
found,
that bothered me about it so much is like if this is a community you don't know yet, right?
Yeah, that's the other part of it I was going to mention. Is like, you know, maybe he's unsure of the community enough to want to contribute to it. You know,
Right.
what I mean?
If
Like
you know
he's
me,
part of it.
right? If you know me and you don't know this community like that, and I've been here longer than you, if I tell you do not mention something, you know, and you see the look on his face when he's telling her this,
he's afraid.
you only got to say it once.
Yeah.
For her to keep pushing, it just bothered me how she kept pushing so much with that. Like she got so caught up in the status crap that she's like, how could you ever not, you know, it's like how could you ever not want to, you know, have the status of being a doctor? Like, why would you? Like, if you know me, why are you even bringing this up? You're the one that gets us killed in the movie. Like, you were the person that gets us killed.
Yeah.
But you keep bringing up the thing I tell you not to bring up. So it just annoyed me.
So they're sitting there having a conversation, and all of a sudden Hornsby's people come in and they take him, and she's like, "What the hell's going on with this?" And so they take her brother away. We cut back to Maggie, and she's doing more whisperer training. Her mask is been tidied up, so it looks a little better. Elijah and Maggie kind of have this conversation, and he's like, "Do you think he's really changed?" And she's like, "I don't know." Like he, you know, she's kind of like trying to rationalize, you know, whether or not he's really different or he's the same guy. So they kind of have this little conversation.
It's hard. It's like somebody who's done, you know, like it's like someone who comes out of prison and they've done this horrible thing and they've done a long, you know, they've done their stint of 25 years or whatever, and then they get out. It's like, how do you deal with that person?
Yeah, especially when
It's
they have
not
to
been
live with you.
nearly that long. First of all,
Yeah, it's not nearly that long. So it's like, but they're out. It's like, what do you do now?
And not only that, you have to depend on this person who you want to slaughter your husband for your own survival. Survival. I mean,
It's one thing in the real world you can compartmentalize it by the fact that, okay, I don't have to see or ever think of this person again. Like, yes, I know they're out there in the world somewhere where my loved one is not, but she has to, again, like you said, has to not only just live with Negan, but has to be dependent on him. So I can't imagine, like, from a psychological standpoint, what that would do. To me, I don't know if I could ever come back from that.
Exactly. But then you think, you add to that, you can kill him, but you need as many people as you can get who know how to survive in this world. So it's like it's selfish to kill him.
Plus,
now.
Yeah. And, I was going to say, back when she first came back, she could have put a bullet in his head and no one would have went. They were like, okay, now you kill him. I got it. You know, now that he's like one of the 4 people left in their quote-unquote assault on the Reapers or whatever, you know, he's necessary. He's a necessary evil.
Yeah.
So
you still have starving people in it, you know, back at the community. Like you can't.
And he's capable, right? It's not like he's
more than capable.
Yeah,
He's one of your top. You know, everywhere you need to killers, man. I mean, you hate them at the same time, but you need those people in this world.
Yeah.
Until you don't, right? It's not civilized yet, so it's like in the military, right? You need the snipers, even though it's dangerous to a sniper and it's so hard for them to live in a regular society again. But when you're in war, and they are at war constantly for survival, you need it. You need them. So, as much as you hate
somebody with the survival instinct. Absolutely.
You do. You need someone who will pull the trigger and take somebody out if it's necessary. Even if it's killing someone who looks like a child, or looks like someone that you would never want to kill, but they are killers, right? You don't have that choice. It's an interesting story because it kind of makes you think about what it does to soldiers who are stationed overseas, where they have child soldiers that they have to fight and kill sometimes, who look like they're child. They're still a child, no matter how you kind of rationalize it. But you have to do. You need someone that can do these things, because if you don't, that same child killer who's been turned into a killer goes around and will kill other children or innocent women and men without thinking twice about it, because of what they've.
Or it's a matter of your own survival.
Or a matter of your own survival, right? So I mean, to have to deal. Negan is one of those people that, sadly, he is someone who could kill like that and still move on, and still and go get up the next day and be fine with it. And you have other people in the group that can't do those things, and they would get you killed, like the ones who stole that pack of supplies and guns and stuff and tried to run off. That could have cost the whole group by doing that. So it's a hard thing. Like, they are putting Maggie through a lot of stuff, because it's like the one guy that you hate the most, that's taken the most precious thing from you, is the one guy right now that you need to stay alive and to help the group that your own child is in right now.
Yep. Back at the Commonwealth, Hornsby has a conversation with Yumiko and says, like, hey, you messed up my plan by, I know you're going to see Pamela and you're to talk to her about getting your friends out and dealing with to fix that over, but you're kind of messing that up, because I got a plan, I can get it figured out, and maybe down the road, if somebody needs something from somebody, you'll kind of remember that. And he's like, just give me a little bit of time and I'll see what we can do. Which is odd, because she still goes to meet with Pamela anyway, so
of course she does.
I'm not sure what the point of this was.
I think he's trying to just insinuate himself there. Hornsby, to me, is almost like the Food Club version of Better Call Saul.
Yeah,
yes.
very much.
Like, he will tell you whatever you want to hear to get his objective.
Right.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So we come back to Daryl and Leah, and they're out on their search. They find a cabin, and then they hear something and find some guy out there who is scared. He's trying to look for food and supplies, and says, it's he's not part of a bigger group. He's just out there trying to find some supplies and stuff, and it's just him and his wife and his kid and his family. And Daryl's like, "Well, take us to him, or we'll shoot you right here and go find him ourselves." And Leah calls it in, and Pope wants her to investigate. And it's interesting earlier, because when Leah and Daryl had their conversation earlier, she mentions again, like, "Well, it must be so much easier for you. You're always out on your own, and you're just a loner." And so again, he's been able to sell that pretty good.
Right. He thought he had her, though, because when she called it, he thought he had her a little bit more to his side, even though without saying it's his side. Because they make a point of showing his face when she calls it in, because he wants to be like, "Why the fuck are you going to call it? I mean, why the heck are you going to call it in?" Like, there was a look on his face where he was like, "Damn, I thought I had her enough."
Yeah.
That she wouldn't check in so much.
Yeah.
That he can kind of sway her. So that kind of threw him off a little bit.
Yeah. So they turn it on. So now we come back to Negan, and this is where they have the meaty conversation of the episode.
Oh, I love this conversation.
And so Negan tries to relate to Maggie, and they talk about everything that happened to them. And, he's like, look, you're trying to protect your family. I'm trying to protect, I was trying to protect my group. And, she said, hey, no one, would you still have done what you did? And he's like, knowing what I did, what I know now, would I do things different? And he's like, yeah. He goes, I would have killed all of you. And she was like, she's like, why would you say that to me? And he's like, look, it's the truth. That's the one thing. Again, I'll give this, this post incarceration Negan. I give the writers a lot of credit, because they don't take the lazy way out, and it's just like everything is unicorns and rainbows. Like, they're getting, Negan is sticking to Negan, and he's just like, look, I'm not going to tell you something that's just a bunch of bullcrap. Like, I'm going to lay it out here and tell you how it is, because
but on the other side of that, I mean, tactically, that's the right answer, and honestly, that's the right answer. But diplomatically, maybe smoothing things over with Maggie, not really the best answer.
Yes,
I'm in the camp of I know Maggie feels a certain kind of way, but I am a little bit on the side of Maggie. You just have to get over it. Like, I not get over it, like forgive him, but I mean, to get this thing done, you got to let that go until you get it done. When you come back to camp and maybe we get a breather and it's safe, you can deal with this all over again. But for now, he gave you the answer. That's the truth, right? Just take it. Well, what do you want him to say?
And I think that's Negan's point. Like, he wants this done, period. Like, not done for now, done for good. Mm-hmm. And I think Maggie's resigned herself to the fact that, okay, she's not going to do anything to him while they're out there. But he's trying to make the wider point of this needs to end, period. So it's interesting, because Negan points out the fact that, like, or actually Maggie points out, hey, all those people we killed at the outpost, there weren't women and children and things there. They were all just, a bunch of guys that, and it had to be done. And Negan's like, hey, those people had people they loved. They had wives and girlfriends and, things. And he's like, and he's like, oh, you didn't kill any children? He's like, what about Gracie? Like, you killed her father. Like, she was, and mother, conceivably, like, he's like, oh, you didn't think I noticed that? Like, I know that's where she came from, So again, when you start to think of these things in context, I mean, obviously Negan, was not a nice person, but when you start looking at the context of why he would say, I would have killed you all, it was Rick's group that, started the initial, like, massacre. Like, they went to that outpost and they massacred. I mean, yes, Negan's people were killing people and doing terrible things on a one-off basis for people that stepped out of line. But when they invaded that station, like,
there was no mercy.
Yeah, there was no mercy. And so, again, Negan lost everything because of it. And, so yeah, he would say, yeah, I'd kill all of you. And that way I would still be, with my people, and we'd be doing what we're doing, and I'd have them all there.
Like I said, tactically, that's the right answer, because if you had just wiped them all out, that would have ended it, right?
Yep.
Even with Maggie, though, she had that conversation about the thing, like, leading and all of that. She would have done it too. If she was in the same place, like, she would not, I think, knowing what she knows now, she would have wiped them out too. Yeah. If she was in that position to do that, she would do the same thing.
So yeah, it was just a great exchange between the two.
It was.
And it was well shot too, because it's like they both come up. I watched the kind of behind the episode thing at the end, and they reshowed that shot. And one of the things I noticed the second time was they did it as a wide shot, and both of them walk. They walk up to the campfire. They both like sit down at the same time. Like it's almost like it's like they're trying to show that like in this moment they're kind of like on the same page. They're kind of in sync or whatever. And then they have this deep conversation where they're trying to resolve their issues with each other, which are very put them very far apart from each other. I don't know. I just thought it was very well done.
They had a good day. I mean, they did. They did kind of do, but I just think it's like Maggie he gets to her in a way that no one else can. Yeah. Right. He makes her vulnerable in ways that because he's that guy that was there on her worst day. That was one of the worst days of her life that she'll never forget.
Well, and obviously it's easier for him to move on from it, right? Like he was on the dishing out end. He was on the giving end, not the receiving end, and Maggie was on the receiving end of that horrible thing. And so it's a lot easier for him to be able to try and get past it.
And he's not coming at you begging for forgiveness.
No.
Like usually that's an enemy that you like. You get usually we get a thing where even when they're taken down, they start begging for forgiveness or saying I should have done it, something like that, right? Some kind of remorse. He really doesn't have that.
No, his remorse is not that I shouldn't have killed Glenn. His remorse is I should have killed all of you. Like I shouldn't have stopped with Glenn. I should have kept going.
It's nothing she can do about it. Even if you kill him right now, if you took a knife and took that knife and put it down on him, you're still not going to stop that. Like that will always be the case.
Yeah,
you'll never take that pain of what he did away, and you'll never make him yield.
No. All right, so back to the Commonwealth. Ezekiel comes back and he's just like zippity-doo dying all over. Like I guess they gave him a little some fluids, maybe a little vitamin B. Jacked him up.
Like good painkillers.
Some painkillers, some antibiotics, some B vitamin. They got him all
lollipops.
That was hilarious.
Something on it, and he was like, I got lollipops now.
And they're like, oh, why don't you have one? He's like, no, I've had several. Don't worry about me. I've
had special lollipops. They
give me the good ones.
Exactly.
And then Hornsby comes in and he splits up Eugene and Stephanie from the rest of them and is like, hey, can you two go clear up some walkers over by the front fence? And they're like, yeah, sure, whatever. And again, in a great spot. Ezekiel's been feels better than he probably has in at least a week or 2 weeks, or probably more at this point. And so they start heading.
That's how you know something bad's gonna happen. Something good happens.
Yes, exactly.
Well, their guard is completely down.
Yeah. So Eugene and Stephanie start heading that way. They see the rich assholes that we saw earlier, and a bunch of walkers heading towards them, and they're like, oh geez, we gotta go take care of this. So they both dive in there. They take them all out. Meanwhile, the rich assholes are yelling at them for what are they doing, and they've got people, and then Eugene and the guy start getting into this big old argument. This is the one part where I thought it was like, okay, this is a little cliched when Stephanie's trying Eugene, and he's like don't bother me, like he's not even looking. And now when you're in this environment, when somebody's trying to get your attention, like for the last 10 years, it's been drilled in your head. If somebody's trying to get your attention, it's probably because you're about to die. So the fact that he was just so dismissive, I was like, oh, this is a little eye rolly. Yes. But eventually she sees that, and of course the lady that he's she's pointing and she's yelling, and she doesn't even look. Which I guess I can buy a little bit because again, she's part of obviously a part of this entitled class that is probably is spoon fed on a daily basis. But so Stephanie goes, and this walker gets really really close to her, and she ends up killing it, and blood splatters all over her. And she starts freaking out. And then the dude gets even more angry, and he starts cursing at Stephanie, and Eugene punches him in the face. And then Hornsby shows up, and he's like, "What did you do?" And because the guards were gone and everybody was gone, and clearly Hornsby set this up, right? Like,
of course he did.
And we come to find out later exactly what it is, but clearly Eugene, exactly. Eugene has screwed the pooch at this point. So then we cut to Yumiko, who is sitting outside. She goes up there to meet Pamela, and the secretary's kind of making small talk, and she's waiting, and all of a sudden she gets a phone call, and the appointment's canceled, and says, "Oh, her son's been attacked." And at that point, the light bulb goes out and go, "Oh, rich entitled asshole is Pamela's son." Whoops. So then, of course, we cut to Eugene, who's in jail, back to being distraught again after having, it's funny because even when Eugene was on walker duty with Stephanie, like he was obviously very happy. Like he's formed a bond with this woman. She appears to be forming a bond with him. They're kind of hitting it off. And so even though they're kind of being punished, Eugene doesn't kind of see it as them being punished. He's probably happier than he's been in a long time. And so Hornsby comes in and he's basically like, look, I set you up to save her. Like, all you had to do was just kill those walkers and you would have been in gold. Pamela would have fawned all over you for saving her son and you'd have been the golden child. And he's like, now you screwed up. And now, I don't know what I'm going to do to, the only way you're going to be able to get out of this is if you tell me where you're from, what the coordinates are, and you need to give it up. And he's like, well, I don't, he, in his Eugene speak, he says like, look, I can't do that. And then Hornsby is leaving, and he's like, oh man, that's too bad because I hope you like it in here.